Hey, Adam from Buzzy here. Um, I wanted to share with you some new features that we've just released that allow you more granularity and security when defining your data tables, which is important for certain types of apps, especially around things like privacy and so on. So let's have a look at that. I'm going to use, just as a quick demonstration over here, we've got the recipe app. I think everyone's familiar with this. It's one of our Hello World type of demos. And users can come in, they can look at a list of recipes, they can go and drill down into recipe, and then they can actually put a review in. So again, it's not the perfect example, but hopefully it'll help illustrate the point. In terms of the data model, we've got two data tables, a drinks recipe and a food recipe, and then a third data table, which are reviews, which are user-based reviews. So if we have a look at the default application here, I'll just go to a preview mode of this. So I'll just close down the debug mode here. So we can look at a list of recipes. I can click into a recipe, and I can come in and I can put a review in. This is one that I created before. Very nice. Cool. And I can submit that review. Oops, I didn't put a rating in, but you get the idea. So these are reviews. Now, I'm the owner or author, and the default security that's been set on this, which has been the one that is owners, authors, and creators. So the security as well for these reviews, because this needs to be publicly viewable, is set to everybody. But again, we're just going to play around with this to show you some of the new features. So in this example, these are the data tables that are on the back end. These are the reviews. There's the one that I just created. These are all our food recipes and our drink recipes. And again, we're just using the out-of-the-box security settings. So I'm going to go through each one of the new ones, and we're going to look at it. So the first thing is, so on the right-hand side, I've actually got another user logged in. I've added, and I've made them an author. I made them an author as well, so, or actually an owner in this situation. So on the left-hand side, it's my Buzzy account. The right-hand side is my Gmail account. So to illustrate having two owners or authors, and to show you some of how these new settings can hide data from even owners and authors. So let's have a look at some of the settings. So we'll have a look at the reviews data table, and go into the results tab. We had this, because this was a public app, anyone can view that data, which makes sense. And again, this is not the perfect example. But if we wanted to restrict that, we've got a few new options. So the new options are, we could restrict this data to the creators only. So that means the person who actually created the data. So if you wanted to allow users to create private data that is viewable only by the owners and authors, only by the creators themselves and not the owners and authors, then you can set that up. Now, by the way, any change that I make to this setting gets logged on the server. So owners and authors, who are the only people who can make those changes, need to be aware of that what they're doing is they're impacting the security level of that data table. So it's something that, if they change that, it can have an impact on the app, and also it's going to get logged. So if somebody goes, how come the settings were changed, we've got a history of that. So if I set that to creators only, what you'll notice is the owner or author on the right-hand side now cannot see that data. And again, if I went into, let's have a look over here. Let's go into I'll just preview that app. Again, so I'll just close the debug mode there. If I go into that, we can see that there are no reviews because the user on the right is not a creator of that data. Now we can set it if like a good example is like something like a chat thread, which you might want to have a chat thread that is available to either another individual or a group of people or a team or an organization, you can then set creators and viewers only. So if you wanted to have a private chat message group that was only chatting amongst themselves and wasn't available for owners or authors to see, you can use this next setting over here. Now, it's not something that I've set up. You can set up viewers fields where you can add either individuals or, again, teams or organizations to that record, and that becomes available to just that subset of users. Now, the owners, authors, creators only, that was an existing role that was available previously, so I won't spend any time on that. Likewise for the owners, authors, creators, and viewers, and all the participants and anyone. So those were existing roles that existed previously. And again, the ability to drop off the owners and authors onto here is an important one. So even if you want to keep that sensitive data away from those owners and authors, then you can use that setting. Obviously, as an owner and author, you have the rights to change that. Somebody has to have the rights of changing that application, but that is logged. So again, this falls into a lot of protocols where those types of things need to be logged, and there needs to be a procedure in place for making those changes. So again, we're just looking at facilitating that capability. So the last setting, which is really interesting as well, which can be used for things like chat threads, where there's lots of chat messages. So let's say you had a scenario of a chat thread, and that was available, let's say, to Adam, and let's say some random users, maybe Bob and Mary, they could see that chat thread. If you wanted to allow all the messages in that thread available just to those people, you got this, who can view the rows is the parent row only. So the idea is if you've got an embedded data table or microapp and you can see the parent, then you get to see the children. So if we looked at, we change the setting over here, and what we'll see is that now the user on the right-hand side, because there is no security on the actual recipe itself, the user on the right-hand side, being an administrator, can actually see that data. Now they get to see all the children of that, so all the reviews of that recipe are available to them. Obviously, if we added security to the parent document, they would only be able to see those children if they could view the parent document. So this, again, is a very useful pattern when you're creating applications. So that's really it. So just in summary, we added a number of new roles which give you extra granularity and flexibility in the way that you can do that. You can do it creators only, so only the creator can see it, so the person who created that row in the data table, for whatever data table it was, only they can see that. If you want additional flexibility to allow other groups of viewers, either individuals or teams or organizations, you can extend that to allow you to define those extra people that can view the information. These are the existing ones, all the way down to anyone, and then there's this new one which is the parent row. Now, by the way, if I looked at that, you'll notice that when I look at the admin console, I cannot view that data because at this point in time, there is no parent. It's just the data over there, which is why I can't see it on the screen. However, if I went into the Boxty breakfast recipe in the back end, I will be able to see that. Actually, I need to refresh. There we go. We can see those few reviews coming out. That's because we set the data there to be able to be viewed if you have the rights to view the parent. You saw it flash up for a bit of it because I had the rights at that point in time. It was just a bit of latency, but that's really important, that feature, if you want to be able to restrict the data to users who have can only see the parent document or documents. So hopefully that is going to help you create apps. We want to make it as easy as possible for you to support those type of capabilities. And thanks for watching.